Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Dave Leese.
And I'm Jonathan Byer. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Jonathan is here from Chicago, and we are here to break down all things the 2020 Four Continents Figure Skating Championships. So if you are new here or you're somehow not subscribed, please subscribe below and smash that like button because we need validation. Okay, we need our...
That's the thing.
I watch raining Pooh Bears coming at me constantly, Jonathan. Okay, yes.
It's nice that you're in the Chicagoland area because that is home to both Jason and Brady. So I thought that would be a nice tie-in.
And Gracie Gold, okay? And Alexa Sameka Kaniram.
She wasn't a medalist at this particular event. Neither was Alexa because you have to skate the free skate in order to qualify.
Yeah, strange. Alexa and Chris, we'll get into it. They did withdraw, and there was originally a tweet that said that there was a family illness, and then it was deleted.
Yeah.
Unclear. It made me miss Ice Network. Okay.
Yeah, well, several times. Well, you know what else I missed about Ice Network? The lack of a commentator. I missed that.
So I disliked the commentator so much that then I just put my VPN on and watched the ISU stream.
Yeah.
Tunnel Bear does wonders. It's worth every penny, people. Okay, you can whine all you want about the commentator, or you can just turn him off. And really,
You know, winners make adjustments, Dave.
they really do. I can't take him. I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
I don't care who he is. I don't want a message about him. I don't care. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
an equestrian guy, supposedly, which is why he was treating everyone like a horse, and then treating everyone's personal best like it was a race time and that they had to meet again, or I don't know. But I mean, again, we could go on and on. He was calling he had to comment on everyone's size, everyone's outfit, and called it like it was a radio broadcast. He was like, there's a girl in a red dress. She's skating to center ice. She's taking a bow, and now she's beginning her program to La La Land. And you're like, yeah, got it.
Well, apparently there was a gymnastics commentator today who was talking about it being the season of scantily clad girls. So now people are all up in arms and offended about that. I mean, facts, okay? Right? Okay, anyway, let's break it down. Yuzuru Hanyu was here. He came to win his first Four Continents Championship because he's actually won every major competition except for the Four Continents up to this point.
Junior and senior was my understanding. Yeah.
Didn't know it was a thing, but apparently the Fanyu made it a thing. And earlier this week, Phil Hirsch tweeted about his programs. I felt like I was being gaslighted by the Hanyu fans because I was being tagged on this message. And so in the past, Jonathan, people repeating programs was considered a bad thing until Hanyu did it. Now it's completely fine. You can do it forever. It's considered the greatest programs of all time, and other people want to see them. I think that they have more room for growth, and they were getting so angry. I felt like we were in an alternate universe. This is like the Upside Down. I didn't know what was happening. Like, where's the girl from Stranger Things? I mean, it was a lot. Okay, so we are seeing the Chopin program for the fourth season. And
is it the fourth?
Yes.
I thought it was the third. Oh,
it's the third for Seimei, whatever. Someone said that I pronounced it wrong last week. Now it's in my head because I didn't memorize what the new one. Whatever. The program where he goes like, at the end.
Now that is an ending. It is an ending that's very stellar. And I'll tell you what.
I like the program. I'm fine with it.
It was so recycled. The short program, I think, for me personally, I think it's the classiest program he has ever done.
Yes.
I don't mean in this iteration specifically, just the program in general. It's so beautiful. It's really a masterpiece. But so I hope that they just take that idea and do something else with it. Next season, an artist of that stature, it just feels like we're being denied a little bit of that genius by seeing more of the same. It would be my only comment.
So I'm hearing whispers that his real crazy fans, they want him to bring back the Prince program. But I mean, why not get a new program? Why not? But anyway, it was...
Don't limit his talent. I mean, the ceiling on there is like so high. Like, just keep going, keep creating.
I like the Chopin program. Look, it's not offensive music. It's not annoying. I like it.
And so do the judges.
It's very similar to the Otoño in many ways.
Although I prefer the Chopin personally.
Yeah, fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. He's still being Hanyu, doing Hanyu things while skating. Like, it's all very similar. It's like when Johnny Weir would get a new free skate every year. look, he's going to have a camel with a very stretched leg. There's going to be some sort of inside spread eagle moment when Johnny skates. Like, you just, like, it's, you know exactly what's going to happen, okay?
But the most offensive repeat for me was the Ashley Wagner repeats.
Right.
And I felt when Ashley was repeating, it felt like a cop-out. It felt lazy. And I felt there was real commitment to these pieces, even though that they were, these programs, even though they were repeats, which made me look at it in a different way. Because I would think just as an artist, like in opera, you do like a production and you're done with it. And then you're on to the next thing. I have always admired these Broadway people that do the same flippin' show night after night. I would think it would be so hard because it would become so stale potentially for me. And that's what I felt about Ashley's performances.
How long do you give that person in Broadway before you're like, can you do something else? Because when Anthony Rapp goes back and does Rent again, I'm like, really, girl? Like, can we do a little diversity? Do you have any other, like...
Did he hit on me in high school?
He's hit on a lot of people, okay? You know he dated Michael Quadrino, the skater, for many years. There was a big age difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He once told me my fly was down. I was like, oh, what are you... I didn't know. Anyway.
Wait the last. Yeah. Okay. But, I mean, but he invigorated these recycled programs with so much energy that it didn't feel like something tired and repeated, which is kind of where we were getting with Hip Hip, Chin Chin, and Mulan.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's also trying to win still, and Ashley's even admitted that she was getting afraid to compete towards the end of her career in one of her Instagram stories, and I think you kind of feel that the light of her competitive career kind of went out after she won that world silver medal and then didn't win the national title, and it just kind of, he was fading, right? And I would say that
he continues to find the drive. It's incredible, and maybe it could be, for as much of a tumultuous fan argument that always seems to be going on, it could be that Nathan has lit a fire under him.
Well, yeah, he's trying the quad lutz, so he's trying all of these quadruple jumps, and he's going for the perfect performance. The things that I loved here about what he did were the great GOE that he had on a lot of the elements. In the words of Scott Hamilton,
ridiculous.
The words of Scott Hamilton, what he did very well. The elements that he did execute, I mean, the triple axels, the quad sow cow, not the quad toes in the free, but the elements that he did with extreme quality. But in the short,
it was very close. Like, we saw some quad attempts here that seemed very strange to me. Like, did you really think you were going to get that? Or it makes me think that it's not really consistent. But the quad lutz looked very close. Like, I think we could definitely see a clean one at Worlds.
I think he can do it. I think it was important for it to put out here. Obviously, he was going for, I think, a world record every time he skates, but it wasn't his day for that. I did think it was interesting just to watch that he had a squirrely landing forward on the first quad toe on the combo, and you could see him get in his head before the second quad toe, which he then missed, and it just showed more of a human side to him that you could kind of see when the one mistake happens and then a skater tightens up or they rush the timing for the next one, and he did have that, but then got it back together towards.
And it's a lot of new because it is a new jump layout, you know, and it is sort of revisiting a program, and yeah, I could see it. I mean, this was basically in a way a different premiere, and I think it was important for this to happen this way for him to get ready for Worlds.
I do think that the programs, I don't think they have anything to do with what the judges prefer. I think that it definitely seems that he is in his own head. For better or worse, this is about, I think, what makes him feel psychologically comfortable and ready to win, and that's why he did it. I don't know if it was a necessary change, but I think that if it's going to take him to the next level mentally to feel like he's going to go against Jason. Of course, the second he did it, I'm getting texts from, Daniel Lee, one of our, benefactors, who's always very into competition, and Nathan is going to slay him, and yes, okay, right.
If you're playing a numbers game.
If you're playing a numbers game, but if you're playing a psychological game, I do think that the GOE that Hanyu does get on his elements, like his triple axels, should be at least 2 GOE higher than Nathan's, on average, right? So the triple axels that he did were getting +4, +5s here, and I think that those were justified. I would
absolutely, and the transitions that he has in and out of those things are just so elaborate. They're so incredible. I mean, it was interesting. Jason beat him out by just a hair on PCS in the free, because I think it was just a cleaner performance. I think that was, if Hanyu skates that clean, I think the scores will be out of this world. So no need to call Interpol yet.
Well, I do think that Jason deserved even higher components. It was just such a spectacular skated program and the moment, and I know that's not to upset Hanyu's fans, but he did take 2 tumbles and Jason did skate so well. So that's just kind of the moment. They both showed exceptional skating here. So that's not to slight one or the other. But yeah, I think that
because Hanyu wants to save those big numbers for when he does nail it, and he will at some point, and then he'll get those numbers.
I don't know if he wants to ever save numbers. I think you just rain them down. But I did find it interesting, and it's been definitely spoken about that he had to wait a little bit for his marks in the short program, and his marks wound up being very high. But he started referencing Papadakis and Cicerone and their score at the European Championships and how long they had to wait, and he did make a comment as though the judges don't need him anymore. So this situation with Nathan is in his head, and I do think that if it reads a little bit as not a panic desperation, but he's yearning, right? He's yearning to win, and he is fighting, but he does feel, you can tell that he feels like his back is up against a wall, right? And I don't know that I have, like, watching him and watching the way he executes those jumps that he does do very well. I think that he should get higher scores than Jason does in some of those elements. He did make some mistakes here. And it'll be interesting to see if they go clean. Curious that he is not doing the quadruple loop, because it has the potential to be such...
I miss it. It's my favorite jump. I mean, just to see in competition. But for all we know, he could still be adding it in.
He could. I do think that he needs to stick with a jump layout and get really consistent, because I do think that regardless of whatever he does at whatever jump layout he does, if he wants a chance at beating Nathan Chen, he needs to go perfect in the performance. It needs to be a stunning performance of all time, and he needs
a big GOE win.
Yeah. And that's how he's going to beat Nathan. The GOE and then the components, he'll have to get the points back there. It'll be very close. But I think that when you see the two of them next to each other, if he is performing with that kind of confidence and that self-assurance, it's going to be difficult for, the judges. They'll have to make decisions. But I do think that when you see them, the judges can kind of start to recalibrate. Who do we like? Who do we not like? I don't think that repeating programs is the way to get the judges to become reinvigorated in your skating, but they are great programs. So I don't know. I find that the more we see Jason's programs with this sloppy shirt that he's wearing, the less enthusiasm I have for Jason's. And I like Jason's skating very much, but it's amazing even when what?
You mean Nate? You said Jason, but do you mean Nathan?
I said Nathan.
Oh,
Nathan.
Okay. I thought you said Jason.
No, when you see Nathan and these sloppy shirts that he's wearing, and to me, the sloppy shirt, I start to notice the sloppy posture at times and the lack of certain things in his programs, and to me that projects more. And it's even interesting to see what a costume can impact things and bring out certain things. And to me, this
it goes to total GOE, right? It just gives you the impression of such a classier, crisper, cleaner kind of idea. It's exactly like you're saying, then sort of a ragtag, rough around the edges. Mm-hmm. The costume really does that. And so does, there's a looseness to the modern step sequences and stuff, but there's an integrity of movement that Hanyu has in the posture in those moments that are very different.
Yeah.
So, again, and this competition here, aside from missing Nathan, and really he was the only major contender missing. I mean, we could sort of talk about some of the Russians, I guess, but I mean, the depth at this men's competition was insane.
Yeah.
I mean, the short program in particular, this was like a dream, and it could have been the final flight at Worlds. The only person we were really missing was Nathan, maybe Aliev or something could be in there. Mm-hmm. But this was competitive, and it was amazing. I thought this was some amazing skating.
Yeah. The skater that impressed me the most was Jason Brown. Not that I wasn't impressed by Hanyu, but I expected Hanyu to be amazing, right? I expected that. So I wasn't sure, right? There are certain skaters when they get a bit older, and we're going to talk about this with Alexa and Chris, and we talk about this with kind of Ashley and Adam, especially American skaters, sometimes when they get a little bit older in their careers, they have to start tapering down how often they can be great. And this event is right after the U.S. Nationals. I wasn't sure if Jason could replicate his amazing performances because he traditionally has struggled sometimes in his career. But I think what we're seeing is that he is peaking towards the end of the season. He is, they talked about him adjusting his technique versus doing, old things versus new things and in the technique. And you could see that his triple axel looks stronger than it's ever been. The triple flip.
Yeah.
I mean, from the jump height, from the jump entrance to the jump ride out on the landing to the full extension, they're bringing out more positive grades of execution in all of these elements. And the thing is that he doesn't have the content of any of these other men, but what he does do is he shows that if you are getting +3, +4, +5 on almost every single element in your program, it is going to add up with great components. He won a silver medal at the Four Continents in 2020 with a popped quad.
Over quad Lutz combos, over all these other, and to me, deservedly so.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And the interesting thing is they took someone with tremendous skating skills, tremendous spinning ability, great edge work, great positions, and they made them even better. Where I feel in other camps, they'd be like, okay, we don't need to work on that. He's got that. He's great. Let's fix these jumps. But Tracy, or I don't know, whomever is doing that, just when you think it can't get even better, the edges are even cleaner, deeper, the knees are even more bent. Like, this iteration was even better, I think, than the one at Nationals. It was so incredible to me that just someone we already put at the top continues to grow in that area.
I think that's having a new set of eyes, right, to look at your skating and certain things. I even, I worked with a coach before, and working with different coaches now that focus on different things and just tell you something, information in a different way, and it can add to it. And I think that with Jason, I think that he's had to kind of find his niche in the cricket club. It certainly seems that he responds very well to Tracy. I've heard good things about Karen Preston as well. He doesn't seem to have like a super close relationship with Brian. Brian seems very awkward in the kiss and cry. And it's funny to me because the more awkward Brian seems in the kiss and cry with Jason, he's got to get on board really quick because newsflash, none of Brian's other skaters are competitive, right? Like this Russian girl that represents Poland, all of her jumps are under-rotated, not doing too well. All of, Junhwa Cha under-rotated jumps. The Canadian boys haven't really panned out super well yet. Jason Brown is delivering for Brian and making the cricket club look very, very good.
We had Junhwa here, we had Hanyu here, we had Jason in that final flight. And they were divvied up. And it really did seem Jason was just honed in with Tracy. And this could be, I happen to be someone that always responded well to female teachers in general. And maybe coming up with Corey, maybe there's just an ease about there, or they just...
His mom is dominant, for sure.
Well,
Marla. Yeah.
So I think it makes total sense. And I kind of love that they weren't forcing this Brian affiliation in the warm-up, because sometimes it seems it might make him even more nervous or something. He and Tracy have this like kind of psychic thing going on, and it works really well. It was so amazing, these performances.
It's interesting. I was just rewatching Johnny Weir's show. Someone had posted a link, Skatinggram, on Twitter, and I went to then...
the Sundance one?
Yeah, which was okay. And I actually bought the DVD on this website that you can buy like gay cinema, because I couldn't find the original documentary anywhere, and I was like, I need to rewatch it. But I messaged David Barba, who made the film, and he showed me where I could buy the DVD, and I purchased it because those Sundance ones were so well. But it was interesting. I was thinking, like, how would Jason do with a Galena? Because Tracy doesn't seem to be the type that is going to, like, yell at Jason before he goes out to like invigorate him in that way.
But Jason may not respond to that.
He may not. We don't know, right? We don't know. I was having the thought of like, would he respond to it? Would he not? I don't know. We don't know. But he does seem to click with Tracy. The one thing, though, is that like Johnny, because Jason has gotten so far in skating with all of his other elements, he doesn't seem to have made the decision in his mind that he's going to land the quad yet. And what I mean by that is that it's like that. It's not like, it's kind of that thing where you make this like decision, like I am going into the rink and I am going to effing do it, right? Like I am going to land this quad. And it seems like he is now at the stage where he's going to attempt it. And Johnny was at that stage where he was attempting the quad too. But in terms of the landing it in competition, it doesn't seem that Jason has made that like overwhelming commitment within himself that it's going to happen. And I think that you could see when he went into it, it reminded me of Johnny where they actually kind of slow down on the crossovers going into it. And you could see the tentative approach and then the pop.
It becomes clear long before he takes off. Yeah.
Yeah. And Johnny used to kind of like under rotate it and stand it up, but it would always be, but you could see it on the takeoff with Johnny as well.
And that's the thing I did admire when Adam was doing the quad Lutz attempts, back in the day when it was maybe ill-advised, but he was committing to trying it. Yeah. And you could see that when he was going to go for it, there was a different kind of intensity to the program in general because there was a bit of a fight mode from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that jives with Jason.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to kind of watch what they decide to do with his jump content, I think, going forward. But he does have a great program. Like, he's going to be very competitive at the World Championships. I think the U.S. will secure 3 spots for next year. Quickly, I do think that they made the right choice sending Vincent because 100%. As we have seen, Camden Pulkinen, again, in an immature performance here. That's
a good way to put it. At first in the short, though, I thought, okay, is this a statement because he was still fighting when he could have given up? But then the free, I was like, I got to tell you, and he was a skater I've enjoyed for the PCS, for the program, and then suddenly I was looking at it, and it kind of seemed emptied out, watered down, just a couple of generic hand gestures here and there. I don't know. I've kind of become much less invested in this particular skater.
I think that what I notice about Camden is that he often will put the foot down on jump combinations or do little things that I get the impression, and not knowing this, but I get the impression that what he does as a run through may not be completely acceptable, right? He may allow certain...
Like the whole thing, like he found out he was going to the competition 2 days before and they like scramble. There's a scrambled, frenetic feeling to the technical content.
Yeah. What I get when I watch it is that he may often put the foot down on the ending of his jumps, and maybe that's okay for him, right? But he's not committing to when Jason Brown lands his triple axel and he stretches the toe and makes sure that he does that every single time. And that's stuff that he's working on with Tracy and Karen and Brian. It's not an accident that Jason does it that way because he has trained that jump that is the only acceptable landing that he can do. And that is how you get the GOE. And Camden seems to be still in that young 18, 19, 20-year-old boy kind of vibe where you kind of let the jump and let it ride and dump and don't fight for the landing.
There are 15-year-old boys ahead of you that are nailing them. So, I mean, again, it's interesting, like, maybe how skaters view themselves. And we've talked about this a lot in some of the recent episodes when it seems like someone doesn't understand what their actual potential might be.
Yeah.
Do you understand, Camden, that if you went out and delivered, like, a really clean, strong performance, like, I think you'd be there. Mm-hmm. I think you're closer than you think.
Much closer.
But if it just becomes comparative to those around you in a training center where everyone's kind of phoning it in or something, that it just doesn't look like top level elite on the world stage.
And I'm curious because we see him with coaches that Karen Chen has very beautiful spins, right? And she makes the most of those elements. She doesn't always make the most of the jumps. But is that her? Is that Tammy? Is that Karen and her mom looking at her skating? Because again, how you and your parent, like you play a role in your training. The coach can only do so much too with it. But I'd be very curious to know what is each person on Team Camden looking at, because the biggest thing with next year, I mean, he's got to get the quad and the triple axles and everything consistent, but the spins consider, they're low GOE and they're not always level 4.
Very PCS. They weren't interested.
Yeah, and he has to commit to that every time out. And 11th in the free could have been much higher, could have been 4th, could have been 5th, could have been 6th. And that's a big difference. What's going to take his skating ahead, because he seems to be putting in content, but then making mistakes on easier elements, and it just winds up, kind of defeating. Yeah. And then another one, think about Tomoki, is that he did do his quads here. He did have a mistake on the second axle. And, that's often, skaters get a little tired and a little tentative before a second triple axle in a program. That is something that happens. But he doesn't have his components and his presentation and his persona figured out at all.
Because I had such a different takeaway from his season last year. Now, okay, let's say now we're dealing with what were clean performance, strong technical performances, both here and at the Nationals. But I remember it wasn't classical music, it was like that movie cinematic-y kind of thing in the black jumpsuit. And there was much more presenting and projection going on. With the rock music, and I know Tanith and Ben were being cute about their commentary about it at Nationals and about it being a fun program, but he didn't look like he was having fun. The music was fun. He was not having fun. And then the Petrushka thing, if you're trying to tell the story of puppets coming to life and a love triangle, it's certainly not working. But again, there's zero facial involvement. And I'm not talking about mugging. I'm not talking about cheesy faces, because we'll get to that in the Paris programs. But there has to be some sort of involvement, I guess. And I don't recall him having such a wall up in the past. But maybe I'm just not remembering correctly.
I think we were so excited by the fact that he showed such potential and the fact that they did try to stretch him this year, but it was just a miss.
It wasn't that there was an effort made that didn't quite work. There was no effort made from my perception.
Well, it's interesting that his costume for the free is very reminiscent of Johnny Weir's, except Tomoki has zero extension whatsoever. In his body, in his head, in his deportment, there's zero stretch things going on.
A bit of the dead eyes, almost. Like there's just a...
I actually think he needs to kind of go to Nikolai and get a shticky program. That's kind of what I think he needs.
Yeah.
I think it's time for his O program.
That's a really good idea, Dave.
I think
100%.
His Nobunari Oda chaplain program, where he's, doing the whole like fake hat thing, because it's that dire. It's just, you got to
engage. Yeah.
He needs a gimmick. Because the rest of the stuff is kind of there, but he's maxed out in terms of I think the potential he's going.
Again, the judges sent their message. We're not interested in this kind of.
Well, it's difficult. So, yeah. Well, how
about tons of talent in the air.
Yeah, it's just the program is a huge issue. So how about the Canadian men? This spot for the men.
You would be totally right. I just assumed it was 2.
No, it's 1 spot for the men. So, and that's going to go to Nam.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, they're going to go with Nam, Eric Radford. Sorry. In my opinion, because he was 6th here and did decently well at the Nationals. And I think for Keegan, Keegan's at a crossroads. I think it's not...
Understandably so. He gave up. The ball on the Lutz, I was like, come on, buddy, you had that. And I understand. This year, I would not wish on anyone.
I wouldn't wish it on him, but I think it did bring up and emphasize there are undisciplined, sloppy elements to Keegan's training, and I think Keegan has 2 years until the next Olympics, and I think Keegan needs to decide if he wants to become a champion and really make skating a career and get to the next highest level.
And I hope he does, because, the quality is right there. It just needs to all come together. I forgot they only have one spot. And as much as pains me to say, because again, the judges are always going to help Keegan before they help Nam, but Nam is at least showing up.
Nam showed up. I had a moment when I was watching Nam, and I know that he works with Kurt Browning. And is Kurt the one who taught Nam to do all like the 90s Victor Pachenko pro skater like...
I was just going to do that, like that. Yeah.
It's very cringy because his skating skills and posture are quite weak, and he doesn't have the natural charm, although he is a fun personality. You could see him when he's behind the scenes. He does all the corny stuff for the camera, and he's doing the handstands, and he's clearly an inventive person. He just has not completely found his stretch and his unique voice on the ice, so it does have like a kind of corny, cheaper quality to it than other skaters, but he got it done. He got the job done. He landed those quads, and Canada's going to send him to the World Championships. And good for him for getting him back. I think for Roman, it's like a splash of cold water that you can win the Nationals and then not be sent to the World Championships. But
another statement of all that's right there. If you can lock this in, it's right there. The judges want to. It's so interesting when they want to help certain people, but you've got to let them.
Yeah, it was a way too many mistakes, and who knows if he was too excited after the Nationals, and there was who knows what happened, or if he felt nervous, because a lot of times that after you win a big championship, you then either feel nervous the next season or the next competition rather than just riding that wave. There are a million different factors here that can come in, but I would be very curious to know what's going to happen. But I do think, in terms of the Japanese men, I think what's very clear to me is that I think that they made a grave error with naming Keiji Tanaka to the team instead of Yuma Kagiyama, because it's very clear, in my opinion, as Eric Radford would like us to say on an opinion show, that Yuma is a star that is blossoming right now. Keiji has been a very sturdy member of the team that has never fully blossomed, that has always just been a loyal soldier, and the Federation has liked him, but it's never going to develop into more than what it is.
So if Yuma wanted to go to Junior Worlds, I don't see how anyone could beat him.
But he could do both, right? Like, you can do Junior and Senior Worlds, and Yuma medaling here, he's right now for the World Championships. His time is now. He is building right now. I don't see a point to hold him back for Keiji Tanaka. To me, first of all, Japan, Shoma did so well at the Nationals. Hanyu is doing very well, and Yuma is skating very well too, and proving that he can handle the pressure.
Is the future.
For the future, the now. He could win a medal at the Worlds right now.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I loved his skating. Here.
I don't even think to say he could win the medal, like a medal next year. Like, no, he could win a medal at the Worlds right now if they needed him.
Little final fight kind of guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it was a mistake to go with Keiji Tanaka, but I think Yuma, his skating, his knees are so wonderful. His jumps are so great.
Yeah, just and emotive.
Yeah,
absolutely emotive. It was incredible.
I think Orser should try to. I think Orser and Lambiel should be fighting to see which one can, and Raphael to see which one can get Kazuki Tomono, which one can get Yuga Kamiyaga, maybe Shun Sato, because to me these are the real men of the future. I think Japan. I don't know about their ladies in the future, but I think in the men, looking at the next generation, post Hanyu, post Shoma Uno, I think it is. Yeah. There are strong men there, but I don't know about. The ladies is a little bit different story, besides Russia, but I think the talent is right there. And I like Kazuki Tomono skating very, very much. So I think he does. Yeah. He reminds me of like an old school Nikolai kind of man with the landing position on the edges. And I don't know if that's Mishiki or what, but I like it very much. Yeah, but let's talk about the pairs, because this is a...
Wait, excuse me. You just skipped over one of my moments.
Hanyan. Oh.
No, we do love Hanyu. Well, I love his skating skills. Like, it's just so beautiful to see that kind of...
There was some camera moment with Hanyan that you were talking about.
Well, it was really unfortunate. I guess it's because he had his hands in his pockets, but literally the close-up of the program for like the first 5 or 6 seconds was a zoom in on just the crotch that was very awkward.
Oh.
And like, they should have zoomed out when they realized, or they should have... It was something that was really weird. I'm sorry. I'm a big Junhwa Cha fan.
I've always liked Junhwa Cha.
I have always liked him, and I know people are like, he's not ready yet, or he's not strong enough yet, or under rotation this, or whatever. When he, in that free skate, went down and in the spread eagle slowly and commandingly opened those arms, and the same way, all these guys are looking for their cantilever moment or their Ina Bauer moment. He delivered a slow Ina Bauer moment. He made you wait for it, and the position was incredible. I don't know. It was so nice between Korean nationals and now that he's delivering such high-level programs.
I like him very much. I like his skating very much. He does jump with his arms more than his legs, and the jump rotations are a real problem. And as a man, where these people, his competitors, are getting full rotation with great landings and great entrances, I do see that.
Clearly. Yeah.
I think that to me puts him in the second tier rather than the top. Bo Yangjin, more of the same. Some great things, some not so great things. In here,
he gets that quad lutz. I don't understand how it's the highest jumper I think we have right now.
I know, and then he does a double right after it. So everything that he just gained, he loses, and it's. I did see some things that were better, some things that are not better. So it's. But Hanyan, his knees, the skating skills, I enjoy his skating so much. He is definitely my favorite man from China to watch by far. So in the pair event, we were talking about people not competing so soon after the nationals. For 4 continents, Ashley used to always turn it down. I have to say...
And I don't blame her.
I don't blame her. It's a choice, right? And it's a bold choice that you're not going to go. Because I don't think Alexa and Chris should have gone here. Especially because...
Yeah, was nationals, like, did it all just kind of line up right for them? Because, the free was still kind of wonky for them.
It was.
Older, if you're injury prone, if there are some mental games, ride the high of nationals and go home.
And nationals was such a high for them, right? And I know that there would have been some shade if they didn't go, but I think to go and pull out is worse. And we don't know exactly why they pulled out. There could be a million factors. Who knows? The deleted tweet was odd, but I don't know what the situation is. Her sister didn't post anything about a family member, so I don't know what that is really about.
It was very rough. It was a very rough short program. And, the spin, I can't imagine, was from an injury, that issue.
No, it looked fluky-ish,
yeah,
but...
Like when they did the death spiral fluke issue, in Japan.
It just, to me, looking at this, looking at how excited they were at nationals and how much it took to get them there, and this is kind of a down, right, obviously, before they're going to have to come back from this. I just wonder about going forward. I think that if they're going to push for the 2022 Olympics, they're going to have to be very strategic about what events they choose to compete at and not compete at, and be very realistic and strategic about what their bodies can both handle and what their minds can both handle. And really, because Chris is getting older, that's like just chronologically, and they have had consistency issues, and I think that they need to peak when they can peak and not go to a 4 continents, but go to a worlds, and those kind of decisions, because it's a little...
I don't say this as an insult, but I think the mental game around their competition is fragile. And I don't mean to sound insulting, but if that's the case, optimize your chances for success, and in no way could this have been doing that.
I think they still, or when I was watching their short program, I thought they still have something. This program is better than any short program they have done, and whether or not you think the music is very Jenny and Todd Schmaltzy, they have a little bit
still
more.
A quality of that program. Yeah.
There's still a quality to it and an X factor, even with the mistakes, right? So I think that there is something there, and it's bigger and it's classier than the other American pairs. And there is a place for them, but they have to be healthy and deliver. And I think that they need to figure out what it's going to take to do that. So, because 2 years doesn't seem long. It can also be a very long time. A lot can change in 2 years. So, I don't think that they can keep going and make the Olympics if they're going to keep having a rocky road. I just think that the federation will kind of they'll get over you quick, right? And I think that I know that there was a lot of feeling that they definitely wanted to win nationals, to determine their future. So I just trying to look at the next 2 years. It's hard to see without knowing are their bodies breaking down? Are they not breaking down because they have the goods that they can deliver, but they're going to have to be strategic about it, I think, if they want to make it to another Olympic Games. It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. So, I don't know. I think that they can do it. It's just a tight one. Because I do think that we're seeing now with Jessica and talk about the biggest mistake of all time, not sending them to the World Championships. And now they are performing back to back. The one thing that we were asking about so many of the skaters, if you can do it, and we talked about why we thought that you should include 4 continents in the selection procedure, they are proving that they could back it up. And a 4th place finish in this field is impressive to me. And a 3rd place finish in the free skate against...
And even if Kane and Leduc were here, they probably would have placed 4th above Kane and Leduc. This is the thing. This is clearly...
Kane and Leduc did beat them at some smaller competitions, but they beat them at the bigger competitions.
Yeah. The more recent competitions, right? Did they go against each other in Zagreb?
Not at Zagreb. I forget that there was other smaller competition earlier in the season, and people are running right things in.
Now, fair, Brian's not always consistent on those side by sides. They still have their own side by side moments, but they're still creating quality programs with enough technical content so consistently. I don't know what else you want from them.
They're a better match team than Ashley and Tim, and I think with that they have more potential for higher GOE and higher levels in the lifts and the twist and things like that over time. I think that will help them over time. Ashley and Tim's mismatch size is going to always be a hindrance, and that's never going to go away. The throws...
the reputation thing. They built, Jessica and Brian now have built enough of a base this season. I think the judges will be ready to keep going with it.
I do think, though, it must be in a great spot when, even if you don't, when you don't make a team and everyone thinks you're robbed, all of a sudden everyone starts to get behind you. And though you're disappointed not to go to Worlds, it's kind of great that all of a sudden everyone is on your side. They're now the fan favorites because people feel that they were somehow, wronged. And
yeah.
It's that victory defeat that the Russians talked about. Now everyone is Jessica and Brian. And I don't know. I just have this feeling that we may see them I don't have any injury information on anyone, but I just get this vibe of, wouldn't it be interesting or great if they wound up somehow skating at the Worlds? Maybe if there's just some
an alternate. That was the real scandal?
Was that the scandal? Shit. Was that the?
Or am I thinking of the men now? I was just so confused about.
Jonathan, sometimes now you're confusing me. I thought I knew what I knew, and...
No, but every time I confused you, you were right all along.
Now I'm reading my own life. I'm tired, and...
But you look great in that sweater, Dave.
Well, thank you. I'm trying to double check this, because we know that there are going to be a million people, and that, guy that was, from the staircase, he writes in all caps. If there's anything that I hate, it's it sounds like yelling. Online. Ugh. Oh my God. Okay. The selection teams. Okay. Oh, that was the ladies link. I thought I clicked on this. Okay. Here we go. For the pairs. Yeah, alternates 1, Jessica Cowlang and Brian Johnson. Alternate 2, Tara Kane and Danny O'Shea. Alternates 3, Haven Denny and Brandon Fraser. So, and will Haven and Brandon... What will happen with them? Mrs. Denny is known to be a very involved mother. She has moved that team all around the country. Do you think they're going to stay with John Zimmerman in the wake of a bad nationals and all of this chaos going on. DDA is no more, by the way. He finally was pushed out and resigned. So,
I'm sure we'll still be hearing from him.
I'm sure we will, but do you think Haven and Brandon are going to stay in Florida after that?
Well, it's interesting. They've had what I would have considered soul-searching seasons before. And I don't know if the bronzes on that fall, Grand Prix circuit were enough to forget the rough nationals, if they're going to justify. But I just don't, if her jumps are that big of an issue, I just don't understand why they think there must be something they know. Like, I don't understand how it's going to get any better.
I think if we know anything about Dee Denny, I think they're moving. I'm sorry. I think they are moving. I think that John Zimmerman's moment in the sun is over, okay? Just because look at what happened with Kevin at Europeans. Look at this whole mess. Now they had the Morgan situation. Now it's affecting all of the teams. They had a bad nationals. I think the momentum is lost in that camp. In my opinion, I think that they will move.
Well, and weren't they more aligned with John Kerr in the past? Like, did John Kerr ever do like?
John Kerr used to work with Sylvia, and doesn't.
Okay.
Sylvia's a strong personality.
And John Kerr, I think, has tremendous talent in what he was doing for a lot of Paris teams. So
he does have talent. So, but there's Florida drama always, Jonathan. Okay.
Something about the sun. Okay.
No one wanted to talk about Sylvia because she's like, Italian, like the old school. Never mind, You've seen those Italian movies, okay? Next, okay? Okay. Sleeping with the fishes, okay? Allegedly. But
and they're coming up with that Italian hand emoji. That in the next emoji update, they're coming up with this one. So we could insert that for this. Okay.
All right. Allegedly. Rumor has it, okay?
In the words of Adele. Okay.
People feel in a certain way about Ms. Sylvia. Remember how Vanessa, when we interviewed them, she's like, but Syl is, Syl is the brains behind that organization. Okay, so don't.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I think there's a reason that they no longer collaborate with John Kerr. Allegedly. Okay.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Okay. I have allegedly heard what you're saying.
You had allegedly heard that as well. Yes. Okay. Because you brought that up, and I think we know a mutual person that's going to freak about that whole thing. But anyway,
I mean, it just could be. I mean, because Haven and Brendan have received such quality programs.
Yeah, and Renee Roca is brilliant.
So I hope that they keep her if they do continue and are coaching elsewhere.
Renee Roca can go yell at you anywhere, Unless you go to Jim, because then he likes to choreograph. And Jim doesn't play well in the sandbox with others. Even though he claims that he can, we have seen time and time again that he's a lone wolf, right? So,
okay.
Although if they do go back to Jim, he really should let them work with Renee Roca again, because that Lion King program was so good. And then you get the credit.
It would be foolish not to,
Yeah. But who knows where they will go, but something will happen, okay? I have that feeling.
That's my transition for you, Dave, because you normally do the beautiful transitions. But speaking of the Denny girls, do you remember when we first talked about 2014 Nationals, when Tosca was dying, and there was Katie Denny, like...
Jazz hands.
What's Tara doing? During all... I don't know if she was trying to put on, like, a fierce competitor face for Les Mis, but everything had like what we call on singing like that bite the apple. Like every lip was like, and I was like, what? The woman is crying about her life falling apart, and she's up there like doing a lion face. That was a tough watch.
Why do they never give her like something contemporary that she can give sass to? Like, why is Tara Kane always doing a warhorse sass and not doing like, I don't know.
You think she could really back up the sass?
Yes.
On the ice in a program?
She tries to when it's Les Mis. She's trying to give you like Katy Perry when it's Les Mis. Like,
yeah, she's coming on that star or whatever.
Delilah has never been one for packaging, in my opinion, and
I share that opinion.
And I just don't think that Les Mis brings out their strengths, and I think that Tara has some pizzazz to her, and that just from the look of the costumes, it's drab. It looks tired. It looks dated, and
you're bored before they start. Yeah,
so bored, so bored.
Yeah,
and he has a nice physicality, and in gray and brown, it's like ooh, and a white dress shirt.
They're trying to squash it. They're trying to not let him be special.
And just grow in your hair. Let it be peach fuzz. This whole like.
Well, the side, couldn't you still have some on the side?
The Mr. Clean aesthetic is really rough for me. It's just, he is a handsome guy, and they're just doing everything to, it's in their feelings, okay? They did a decent job for them here, but I think the judges are over it. Yeah.
And what was really helping them, again, were those shade programs back in the day, because the programs warranted a level of appreciation, and these don't.
But is that too out there for Delilah? Delilah tends to be more conservative.
She took away, they had a great short program.
But she said that it didn't highlight Tara enough. She wanted to highlight Tara. So she did Claire de Lune.
Question mark? And a Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper dress. Like, I don't understand.
I have no opinion because Delilah tried to infer that I was a murderer in the press. So anyway, as we continue.
That old chestnut. Yeah, okay.
Anyway, sorry.
How does one transition out of that? Meanwhile, in China.
You know what? I try to be really nice about just her, and I just try to take the high road.
Take the high road, yeah.
We pray for them. Anyway, in Canada, it was interesting that Evelyn and Trent outcompeted Luba and Charlie here. Very interesting. This season has really been the season of popped throw jumps. We do not...
in the short in particular, like, it is so unusual for me to have seen those two throw doubles, one from them, but also the one from Sui and Han. And I was like, is this a planned double? Is she deciding that mid-air? Like, I was just unfamiliar with
I remember Jenny and Todd sometimes popping the throw double axel. Remember at the Olympics? They did at the crescendo of that program, and we all knew the choreography. It was worse than Ashley. So, old skating fans, Jenny and Todd, who coach Alexa and Chris, yes, they're married. People are asking us these questions. Jenny and Todd skated to Nessun Dorma longer than Ashley skated to Moulin Rouge. We knew all the moves, and they had this like one piece of choreography that they thought was their Gordiev and Grinkoff mood, and they would do like, he would catch her, and they would do remember that? The swoop, and the hand around the neck, and remember they would do da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and on the landing of the throw double axel, Jenny would like throw her arms up, and
yes, an aha moment, yeah.
And at the Olympic Games, I will never forget, Jenny pops the throw double axel, and then she still has to do the aha moment, and you could just tell she wanted to die on the inside. Like, she was so
she
done.
Was like, this is a lie.
Da 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 da. And we all knew the move was coming, and then she fell on a back cross stroke, which I have done in practice, but to do it in competition, oh my God, that must just like killed her. You know, like it just, oh man. It was just like they were having a day. Okay, they were having a day during their free skate. So anyway.
The Olympics, yeah.
So people have popped some throws in the past, but it's becoming like an epidemic. But maybe it's as we're seeing more and more difficult throw.
Also, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So I think I'm curious with Luba and Charlie that, you know, he got rid of Julianne unceremoniously.
Yeah.
Luba is known to have some technical issues. And if he doesn't seem to be the most patient partner, was this the best choice? Because I am wondering, she has had a history of, you know, not jumping well under pressure in competition. Yeah. Despite being one of the most beautiful skaters, doing the most stunning lifts, besides being one of my favorite skaters to watch. Like, I liked her with the old abusive partner. I liked her with Dylan. I like her now. But I am curious, in their dynamic, will this work out, and will Charlie remain calm, cool, collected? And it's interesting to me.
You have to know what you were signing up for. This was not like she kept it a secret.
There was no news here that the jumps and
the
throws are an issue. And I got throws are two people. So we will see, but that to me is
So
interesting.
I mean, in the end, it wasn't a big victory. It was a narrow. It was a narrow victory for
Both,
Evelyn and Trent.
but both programs. I mean, six
Yeah.
points, but both programs, 6.5 points. That it was all that Eric Radford. It was the Eric Radford choreographic sequence to One Love that I think did it for Evelyn and Trent. It was just very well done. It was that core.
Just inherently, as we've talked in the past about important skating versus maybe less important skating, Evelyn and Trent may be less important skaters, but if they're going to deliver and place higher, unfortunately, it will overshadow Luba
Listen, they had too many mistakes. Too many mistakes. And
ones. And I don't know that people are going to say, oh, well, they're brand new, but the things that would mean were the lifts and the basic skating skills, which are stunning. That's not what they're having the issue with. So
yeah,
it's unfortunate because I think they could be, if all the stars aligned, a really important team.
Now, how about your favorite pair?
Okay, you know what? I'm going to stand by my decision now that I'm completely over her. And she needs an attitude adjustment, and she needs one quick.
Okay.
Because, you know what? You were the one that botched those jumps. Yes, Michael fell on his chin or whatever, but she is becoming so increasingly unlikable to me,
Okay.
not only in the kiss and cry, but in the immediate moments following every performance. I find it utterly inexcusable. Utterly.
Well, I was confused. So some people, we were talking about this in See Alive last night, and there were some people that said that she didn't ask Michael if he was okay when he got hurt. But I have to say that there are some times when I'm skating, and even if I'm on a session, and if I fall and I get back up and I'm skating again, and someone goes, "Are you okay?" I don't know why it annoys me so much, but or like if someone are like, "Oh my God, you fell? Are you okay?" And I'm like, it's skating. We fall all the effing time, and we get up, and we are clearly fine. Okay, like I am moving, and like, do we
She
have?
was cold. She was mean.
I think she was mad at herself too. It was a terrible. She did say in her Instagram post that it was not the best 4 minutes. So I think she was mad at herself. That is the second time in a row that she's missed. At least she missed it at Nationals and she missed it here. I don't remember what happened before.
It reads entirely as anger towards him. Now, I feel like I got this wrong too because there was a while in the Kiss and Cry, it looked to me like Deanna was the sort of picked at one in the Nate and Jim relationship, and maybe that wasn't the case. Maybe she was just angry for her own reason. You can totally misread these moments, and I'm owning that can be the case with KMT.
I think that there was a lot going on in the Deanna, Jim, Nate relationship.
You sense a thing, right? You sense when the energy.
We were picking up what they were putting down in the Jim, Deanna, Nate.
Yeah, and this.
Listen, she's skating with another coach. Now they weren't getting along. I mean, they were two strong personalities, and I don't know. It was just,
yeah,
it was what it was. Okay.
Yeah. But that's what I'm sensing in this, and it's very
with her and Michael.
With her in particular, towards just everyone.
Here's the thing: her mistake cost more points than him falling on his shin. That
was a 1 point whoopsie deduction. I mean,
it'll take it a little off of components too, theoretically. But I don't think that she was solely mad at Michael. I took that as the effing cherry. You know, like when you're having a day, and then something else happens, and it's like,
of course, yeah.
And you're really mad about the whole day. You're not just mad about the last thing, but maybe it makes you lose your damn mind. And I have a feeling that him, like, catching a toe pick was just the cherry on a shit sundae, okay? It was a shit sundae, and that was just, like, great, you know? I imagine she is mad at herself when she has time to process everything, and maybe she was acting angrily towards him, but that maybe it's not his fault. And I don't know, to analyze like what she said, and I'm sure she'd have a lot of feelings. I think at the end of the day, when she's back in her hotel room, she is mad at herself at the end of from just starting the program with the mistake. I think that, and they had the lead, and it's the second year in a row that lead it, but I don't think they were not going to beat Sui and Han anyway, in my opinion. They weren't. They were not. Okay, they were in no danger of Sui and Han and that free skate when they do it well. They're not going to beat them, right?
When they don't do it well, it's just a superior program. If only they lived in the same country as Sui and Han's choreographer, then they could use her. Oh, wait, they do, and I don't know why they don't.
I don't think their free skate is bad. I think it's a nice free skate.
Yeah. It's just not of that iconic quality.
But they're not, like, Sui and Han skaters. Like, I think the KMT max out their ability. And I think that more than the American pairs, they tend to have risen to the occasion. I mean, someone was shading me for, why do you support them? Here's what my thing about the North American pair teams. We see so many pairs in the U.S. Alexa and Chris, Tara and Danny, Ashley and Tim. It's like every year we have the same problems, right? Like we are still on the same side-by-side Zaukaus. We're still on Ashley Kane's throw landings. We're still on Tara Kane not having a side-by-side triple toe and doing the bad double axel. Like nothing has changed. Tara's still skating to a war horse. It's still awkwardness. Like nothing has flippin' changed. Jason Brown is popping a quad and not doing it and being very beautiful otherwise, right? The Camden Pulkinen for the umpteenth year is not focusing on his spins and being a hot wild mess. Karen Chen not delivering two programs, and then now when the pressure is off because her season is done, now all of a sudden she looks brilliant again. Then maybe she'll take a year off of school and then look a hot mess again next fall. But now she'll always have that moment when, looked great. Then she'll have more boot problems or something. Vincent, he only did one quad, and though it wasn't super under-rotated, we thought it had potential. He puts more in at Worlds. They're all under-rotated and cheated. Digress. We have the same problems with these skaters in the U.S., okay? The same flippin' problems year after year. At least KMT and Michael are relatively consistent in pushing forward, okay? They have at least made steady improvements.
They're meddling. Yeah, totally.
They're not doing that country rock thing that they were doing the first 3 seasons. They seem to have found a style. I don't really like the Rihanna cover, not my cup of tea. I do like the free skate, and I like that she is trying to have choreographic moments. I respect that they are maximizing what they can do. They're a little bit white bread Canadian. She's from the Wurtzes, people. I mean, look at where she was raised. She is making the most of being a basic white bee, okay? She is giving you attitude, and now she's giving too much attitude for people. He's a bit of an awkward performer. He is trying hard, okay? KMT and Michael, I mean, they're very Canadian, okay? They are so Canadian that when she becomes American, then people become so, I don't know. I mean, come on. Alexa is screaming and slapping Chris and being affected by school shootings, and we love her for it. KMT gets mad that she and her program made an ass of another free skate like they did at Worlds and the Four Continents last year. Well, you know what? She could be in her feelings. I was entertained by her anger, and I was fascinated by it. Okay? It made the sport interesting for me. Okay? I was like, you know what, KMT? You don't seem like a nice girl right now, but I'm going to keep watching. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean...
Button, Dave. I didn't even know I was going for a button.
I was just like, you know what? She's what she is. They're...
Yeah. Okay. No apologies.
Listen, she's trying to be interesting. She does that move. Her hands are around his neck. I'm like, that's interesting. She's trying to be graceful.
Aliona Light.
Do you remember how, not really cute her programs with Dylan were? I mean, she was the Ali Raisman of skating. She was basically it was just all power and bigness. And when you ever see Ali Raisman do a floor routine to Hava Nagila and she has those flex feet, it's bum, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, and it's just pounding, bigness, like a truck. That was KMT and Dylan, okay? She's trying to get in touch with her feminine side. She's going to eccentrics. Maybe she owns some Lululemon. She is trying, okay? She is from she is from the world of the Wurzes. She was bedazzling everything. She was wearing hot pink. Like, she's trying to evolve, okay? She's becoming an Instagram white girl, okay? Let her evolve. She's finding her latte art, Jonathan, okay? You know she loves those moments, those choreographic moments, like when she's like laying on the floor to Rihanna and they have that little quirky moment at the end, or when she has her hands around his neck. Like, you know, she's schmacting, all right? She's just Canadian, okay? What? I mean, Sui and Han, their
this
blues.
Is your viral moment of like epic rant. Okay.
Sui and Han, their blues don't even match. It's been 2 years and they can't find costume colors that match, all right?
Yeah, I think it's a little confusing because one was full blown green, and I
know. And what is his real age? It's been changed like before. What is his?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Like, what? And Sui, Megan Duhamel was there in person. Why'd you have to botch the triple Salchow? You know that's Megan's thing about you.
Just in general, they were a little off, and that program is completely magical to me. But it was just a little off kilter the whole time for me.
In my opinion, I've hated their short program all year, and I wouldn't mind if they went back to an old program for Worlds.
This was the successful iteration of it, because I didn't mind it earlier in the season, but this one in particular,
I did. It offended me. Okay, I thought it didn't really bring out what I love about their skating, and
I think that's a fair comment. Yeah,
I like her being Latin. I like her doing Samson and Delilah. I liked her country hoedown moment. This number, I don't know what that vibe is that they're doing for. Not successful for me, okay? Peng and Jin, beautiful, lovely, boring. Again. But
right in there, just like they've been all season. I mean, it's interesting. They're taking advantage of
Cloud Atlas. Listen, do you know what Brady Tennell should skate to next season? Cloud Atlas, okay? She can get in touch with her boring L'Oreal like self to what we do for those who don't emote super much. We can. It'll be great for Brady Tennell, okay? All right, let's move along, all right? Alexa and Chris, we missed you in the free skate, okay? Terrible short program, all right? I feel they agreed. Chris had a lot of feelings, and Alexa was like, snap out of it. We're about to be on camera. All right, the ice dance event.
Oof, another one.
So Hubbell and Donohue won the rhythm dance. It was very close.
Again, I think that even despite the material, I think that is totally fair. The big skating, the power of their skating, the intensity of their pattern, all of that makes sense to me, even though I'm not, again, I would never have picked that for them, and they did change the pans.
Okay, I feel like we've been very nice to them about this, and we've...
You? I think we've been pretty honest about it.
No, I mean in general.
Okay.
Do they not seem really full of themselves on Instagram? Do you follow them?
I do.
People make a lot of comments about this, like, behind the scenes, and we've never talked about it.
Well, it seems like they're definitely, I don't know if they've hired someone or they're being informed, but it seems like they're making a very specific type of push, and they're trying to create some sort of type of brand or presence. And they're doing that with the, like, celebrity couple comparatives. You know, they've been doing it. I feel like they're being informed. I don't know if they've hired PR people that think that this is the way to go for them. Or
do they both find themselves to be very sexy? Is that what this is all about? That they're like...
Well, I think they are, but I mean...
But how big are their egos? It reads a lot. Like
but do you think that's real?
Kind of, but also, like, it's somewhat misplaced when they blow opportunities up the wazoo. Everyone in the world was ready for them to win a bronze. The 2017 Worlds, when people were on their side, they blew it. The Olympics, it was right there. They blew it.
I was so ready for them to do that.
That's when people liked their material. Now they have awful material and bigger egos than ever, and then they act wronged. And then, like, their reaction and the kiss and cry, like, it all just reads entitled. Like, there's like a...
Oh, yeah, lack of awareness. Now, this is tricky, though, because when they first got that score, I was like, well, it was a huge twizzle mishap. You know what I mean? They were out 3-4 points at least right there. But then again, they didn't fall. But Madison and Evan did. I mean, Madison did. Like, so it was clear. I mean, here's the thing. I think they have all the skating ability, and I think that the Evan and Madison thing is a gimmick, but it's an outstanding, well executed gimmick. It's like the best gimmick. So
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It shtick? Yeah, but I just.
But it's excellent. It's high quality shtick, because even at National she had Madison Chock had some weird twizzle moment, and here she just fell in what looked very painful, that kind of fall on her hip. But to her credit, she got right up as if nothing had happened, so that PCS was able to stay up there, I thought.
We've always heard that Madison and Zach are a little bit more stubborn. You know, they're a little bit more headstrong and maybe Madison and Evan are easier to, for the coaches team to kind of mold. And it just seems like Madison and Zach, it just seems like they throw these titles away. And then now when they're in this like period of bad material that maybe comes from a lack of self-awareness, and then the attitude in the kiss and cry, I don't know. And yes, I get that they're upset because they know, like we know that they're not going to medal at Worlds this year. Like it would take a political Herculean effort to stop this now. What is happening?
Would be definitely in the running for that prize.
Yeah, and they're against Piper and Paul at their home Worlds. And I get that that's what Madison and Zach are reacting to. But especially Zach has got to work on his poker face in the kiss and cry, because the judges do watch that. And then they're going to be like, really, this man thinks he's so great? That's, in my opinion, how that reads. It just comes across.
Well, in my opinion, they were a team that for many years were victims of a silly system. I thought for many years they should have been beating Chock and Bates.
There were, but they also did make a lot of mistakes too. And they're not reliable. And that's the number one thing in skating is you have to.
They're not really the victims anymore, but that kind of attitude in the kiss and cry reads that way.
Yeah. I know that they feel that like Chock and Bates were friends with one of the judges at Nationals, but they always, like the parents in the background always have these feeding things into them, but there's always that.
The more you whine and the more you defend and the more you do, it seems like you're in trouble.
I mean, look, Hubbell and Donohue on their elements made more mistakes than Chock and Bates did on their elements, right? So it just, they give away points.
Get those quizzles, right? The way, especially Zach with that free leg, the way he lets it carry him around, it can be magical. It reminds me of like the Collier del Quad Lutz. It's like we don't often see it just as we want it, but when we do, man, is it better than everybody else?
But I think they kind of need this. I think they need an ego balloon to be popped, and then they need to get a dose of reality and maturity and come back swinging with better programs than ever, more trained than ever, no mistakes, like tight, powerful skating. Like they need to come next season and prove that they not only deserve to be the best in the U.S., but that they deserve to really push for a spot, period, right? And compete with anyone. And though it's going to be very difficult, they are very powerful skaters. People are getting over the French, doing the French. They have pushed their style. What?
They lost DDA.
They lost DDA. The Russian politics are alive and well. I mean, Hubbell and Donohue need to come together within themselves and get a BAM program and come out really swinging, really.
And not in a baseball tee.
Not in a baseball tee. Not in a over-the-top jacket that makes you look like a character actress when you're wearing fake fur. Cut with the BS, cut with the Instagram, and just come out and be whoa. When we saw Tessa and Scott do the Prince program, and it was oh my God, whoa. That is what they kind of need to happen. They are, otherwise they should quit. It's kind of Madison and Evan should have quit until they all of a sudden got the Elvis program, and it was oh, and then they did, and it was okay, we see you in a whole new way. And I think it's the same way for Hubbell and Donohue, who are there right now. And I think it happens to skaters in their careers. Piper and Paul, very nice. I mean, they are. They're going to be in the running for a medal at the Worlds, and it'll be interesting to see if they can hometown pull it.
No, it's hometowny. I think it's going to be a hard get for them.
It is going to be hard.
I could see them in fourth.
Yeah, I don't think the powers that be are going to just let it happen. So
I think the advantage for them on home ice will be that they are definitely ahead of Stepanova and Buka.
And I mean, there were some judges that really went for Piper and Paul here. And you can go on skating scores and really look at which judge from which country, and he does a really good job.
Those tallies are fascinating because I went and some of them had them so jumbled.
Yeah.
I mean, the Australian judge in more than one discipline was like at a different event altogether.
I mean, the ice dance event, you really can, like, Monday morning when you're at work having your coffee, go on skatingscores.com and look at, like, which judge put them.
Final tallies. Yeah.
Not just the final tallies, like the PCS, because those when someone has a mistake within the elements, they can't fatoots with it as much as, like, with the PCS. That's just like free reign. And
Piper and Paul didn't have such a glaring mistake like the other two.
Yeah.
But to me, although I enjoy the program, it's not.
I liked the new costumes very much.
I thought that helped a lot because I was able to see their lines a little bit better.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I loved his red. I wanted to steal that shirt. I could make it into a sweater, right? So, I could...
You have good sweaters, Jake.
I'm fascinated. I was also fascinated the fact that Team China continues to push ahead with the Beijing Olympics. They were fourth in ice dance. I mean...
I enjoyed their performance very much. Him in particular. I mean, such a man of size. Like, it cuts a striking presence on the ice.
I mean, they beat Hawaii and Baker. So, and Caroline and Shane continue to kind of struggle. So, yeah, we will have to see what happens. But how about the ladies here? Because this was another field, okay? It was very deep. And let's start with Japan because they were really giving us the most, okay? They were making their...
Okay, Freddie, can I just, like, jump right in? So, I have been excited for Wakaba's triple axel forever. We saw it at a World Team Trophy, like, warm-up, and I was like, whoa. That is full-blown...
That is Midori Ito thigh. That is big.
It is. But it's that kind of thing, as we've seen, like...
She puts the jump in that jump. Okay, was that what Dick used to say?
But it's for real. And the attempt here, I didn't realize she was going to attempt it here, but when she did it, it was just as beautiful. I know she didn't hold that edge, but it was right there. And I really hope we see this from her. She landed a beautiful one on the warm-up. So I am beyond excited to see this.
I mean, I think we're going to see it at the Worlds. I think it's coming together.
She's been one of the most heartwarming stories of this season for me because she's not an artiste necessarily, but her jumps, I think, out of this entire field, even Rika, I enjoyed her jumps the most, Wakaba.
I feel fan favoriteness when I see Wakaba skate. I hear Adele singing. I don't know. It is the end. I feel it. She's having her moment. She had a great season a couple years ago. Then we didn't see her for a while. This is her moment. Maybe she'll come back again in the Olympic year. Enjoy it while it lasts, like Joshua Ferris. I don't know. What?
It's a tricky situation, and and it will be discussed at a later date, but we saw Satoko at the Bavarian Open, more of the same. There's some real struggles going on there. Mai Mihara, unfortunately, seems, out of the picture for a while. I don't know, Wakaba's in good stead here, but it is interesting to me, again, talking about skating scores. I went and looked, and they consistently gave Kaori the highest PCS in both programs, like by a margin.
Well,
she had some rough skates here. And so when we were talking about, like, for instance, the Hanyu quad Lutz attempt, where you're like, okay, it's right there. Mm-hmm. The Kaori quad toe attempt did not make it seem like she was landing that a lot in practice.
But I was glad that she went for it. It was exciting, okay? It was
exciting.
That whole program is about being butch and owning your physicality and, it's... I don't know. She's had a rough year, but I was glad that it seems... I think maybe she should get a new program to just wash away everything from this season, but maybe she has time now to train and get these big elements for next year, right? Like, she has not had...
You don't seem like any postings or clips of her landing those, have we?
No, but
Seems unusual.
It's just she's not had the year, and it was a double carrot. But look, the triple axel was also very under when we saw a video of it. So
Right.
I don't know. It's been a rough year for her throughout and it seemed like she was building so much momentum last year that it's surprising to see her continually struggle. I thought that at a certain point she was going to get it together this season, and it has not happened.
Yeah, a lot of people have turned the corner now that we're in 2020.
Yeah.
You know, they've erased sort of a rocky fall.
Look at Jason Brown, like he turned the corner and now I thought that Cowrie
Even
would.
in so many Yuma, I mean, and Wakaba keeps getting stronger and stronger. But
She turned the corner. She was, yeah. I hope that Cowrie turns the corner over the summer, because it would make the competition way more interesting.
They're still with her.
Yeah. So. But Rika, it's interesting. I was so high on her skating last year, and she's not the most artistic skater on planet Earth.
And that was actually the first time I saw her live was at Four Continents last year. And I have to say, it was a little bit shocking to me what it was like in person. It was fine. It was lovely, but it was kind of small. It was a little slower than I anticipated. Not much ice coverage like I thought might be happening. Yeah.
The drab color of the dress. Both dresses are awful this year. I don't understand what the thought process is.
Strange frilly gloves and stuff. I don't know that she's ever been known.
The sea foam green drapes, like in the pea. That color looks like it was in Archie and Edith Bunker's apartment, like maybe in the upstairs bathroom or something that she's wearing during the free skate. It's just a real rough. There's all those music edits. She's supposed to be uniting world religions for a girl that maybe emotes 15% of the program, right? I mean, like,
lofty task for anyone.
Like what kind of charismatic religious leader are you? Certainly not one that I want to take all my money. Like, you're not in any prosperity church. You're no televangelist. Like, you're no Tammy Faye Baker. Like, get away from me.
You're a representation of them, yeah.
Tom Dixon, what was this? Okay, not your best moment, Tom, okay? Sometimes your weird ideas work. Why did Ryan Yankee pull off the Brazilian program? A white boy who seems like very white bread and Brazilian music. Somehow it worked. Rika Kihira reuniting all the religions of the world fell flat for me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you feel like a Ryan Yankee Brazilian moment. Sometimes you don't feel like a Rika uniting the religions of the world's moment. I can't explain why. It just didn't happen. Okay?
What I do feel like is seeing her Lutz back, because I mean she was so limiting herself by not having that Lutz.
They said it was an injury to her ankle, so she put it back in. That'll really make people happy before the World Championships. I still think that it just doesn't feel like her year, but I think, will go out and.
It did last year, and then it didn't. I mean,
so maybe she'll come and fight before the Worlds and do it. Triple Salchow to open. So we did see her working on the quad sow. It wasn't super rotated yet. So I'm curious to see what she pulls out at the World Championships, because last year it was her moment. And in her moment to medal, her moment to, she blew it. So, yeah. So, and it became Zagitova's moment. So, more to come on her. But this is an interesting year. I feel like, I just cannot wait till she gets new programs and new music, and I don't know, maybe develops more personality. It seems like they always are working on show programs that have hints of more personality, but she is.
But if we're really remembering the programs from last year, they were a little generic.
Yes, but the music just worked, and it just. Yeah. There were little things where she would step over on her toe pick, and she rode and fell with the music a little bit better. This music just never. It was forced. And Young Yu, I mean, the music edit is a lot, but that triple axel is amazing. And
that's what I think I've ever seen her do. It was a tremendous moment, I thought.
Yeah. So, I mean, she has so much jumping talent.
As just the Korean female skater.
Yes. She is.
Even though I do, maybe Unsu has inherently more beautiful aesthetics in her skating. It's just the moment's gone.
Ensu seems so tall and lost in her limbs at this point in time, and hopefully she can learn her jump technique or rediscover it, become confident, reacquaint herself?
There were some scary moments, the lean forwards in the fall, and at least that wasn't happening here. But,
the triples are a real struggle for Ensu in general. Yeah. She should like become a Korean ice dancer. I don't know, like she has all the drama required, okay? I would love to watch her. Doesn't Igor have like a white boy from like Russia that she could skate with or something? I don't know. Come on, Ensu could be his next like big thing, all right? Yeah. Oh my God, imagine Ensu and that Min Yura, the one that's always fighting with her partners, like whenever they split, allegedly. Like, come on. Remember that there was like that GoFundMe drama? Oh, it would be great. They could all skate together in the rink, get the cameras ready, okay? I think she is perfect for ice dance. These jumps, these combinations, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. I would like to see more of Ensu. I do think that she and Mariah Bell should be required to go to the same Grand Prix events. Jonathan, please, okay? Everyone, wait, excuse me. Pause. My moment, Jonathan. People, skating reached TMZ. The only time people cared about skating for years was because of Tanya and Nancy. Now we have two beautiful skaters, Ensu and Mariah Bell. They're charismatic, they're photogenic, and you know what? They're feuding, okay? And there was like music instances, and there was like who's changing whose thing out, and then we make them not go to the event? Wait a second. Capitalize, okay? It's about competition.
Although, if you're Mariah, you couldn't pay me enough to go to this event in Korea.
No! But you know what? The ISU does have extreme power, and when have they ever supported the athletes? Okay, you know what? I want to watch them skate on the same warm-up. Don't you? Come on, Jonathan. Think about the tickets we could sell. All right? It's wrong. I get it. It is like the part of our instincts that we don't like. But isn't it at the Yankees against the Atlanta Braves? Remember when they were all like there with like the tomahawk? Maybe it wasn't right, okay? But remember when like the Yankees and the Braves and that guy in '96 made like a really racist comment, and then it was about, sports is about theater and drama and entertainment, and you know what? I want to see them compete together. I do, all right? I'm an awful human being, all right? I'm going to hell, and you know what? Some of you are going to have a lot of fun with me there, okay? We're going to be like, oh, it's not that hot, okay? All right? We're going to like really enjoy ourselves. I want to watch them.
I only cringe because on this warm-up also everyone was pointing fingers at everyone trying to stir nonsensical dramas about who was running into whom.
Well, did you ever see those Yuna Kim videos where they were saying that those other Japanese skaters were like chasing her around? I mean, that was drama, okay? That was...
More of that was happening here.
The Korean fans deliver the most, okay? I would like some Korean fans to defend me at any moment, okay? I just think they are loyal, okay? With the best skin products, okay? Just amazing, okay? Unsu, I mean, when she does the solo triple loop, it's beautiful. Yelim Kim, maybe the Brady Tennell of Korea, but I mean, she is getting her job done. So now Brady, I saw her trying to have artistic moments in the free. It was stronger than nationals, the free program, and you know what? She didn't under-rotate the jumps in the second half, and it's kind of the first time this season that she hasn't really done that. It was an improvement for her here. So, do you think the U.S. will be able to pull off 3 spots for the ladies, or will they come just short? Like, I think they're on the edge, right?
Because what's the number again? 12?
No, 13. 13, Jonathan. Is this your first time?
I know. It's like, that's going to be tough. No, I don't think that's possible.
Well, they would have to be 6 and 7 or 5 and 8. I think it's...
Because I could see them 7, 8.
Exactly. They're either going to be just getting it or just missing it.
Yeah. I think it's either going to go 6, 7 or 7, 8.
Yeah. It's going to be fascinating to watch because you've got Rika.
Yeah.
You've got Rika.
You've got the 3 Russians.
Yeah. The 3 Russians locked ahead, right? Someone could skate, one of the Russians, like Trusova could skate one of the programs with one leg, and I still think that they would be ahead. Okay. Then you've got Rika. I think we've got Rika in for the pewter. Mm-hmm. Young Yu with her triple axel. And then you've really got like Brady and Mariah.
Right.
Is Yelim Kim going to be the spoiler? Is Alexia Paganini going to get in there? And, I mean...
No, I don't think so. But I mean, I think they're right there for 7-8.
Or is it going to be Wakaba with that triple axel? Is that going to be that all the American fans are so like excited to see, and then she's the one that pushes Brady and Mariah down? That is going to be.
Before that, because I'm a big Wakaba fan. Mm-hmm. I'm rooting for her.
Yes. Now it is fascinating that we see. We definitely are seeing like resurgence in all of the excitement and drama of coming with skating. I actually had a thought in my head and something was resurging and I totally forgot what I was about to say, Jonathan. So, do you know what it was, Jonathan? A coworker?
Text? Yeah.
A coworker sent me something and I wasn't sure if we had like something in the office that I needed to see. And it turns out, no, she's looking to buy leopard print skates. And I think, you know what? Like that, God bless.
We know people that
We know people that would wear them and love them. All right? Satiko at the Worlds, though. We're going to discuss the Bavarian Open tomorrow because we're going to break down the Russian juniors and we're going to discuss the Bavarian Open. And I would like everyone to know that I made Igor Lukanen dress up because I told him that he looked like he was going to a yard sale when he was at Poland and that he wasn't setting the correct tone. And you know what? It worked. Okay?
Sure. Good. I think there's something to that. Mm-hmm. Dress for the event you want to be in.
Yeah, and you know what? I yelled at Isadora before the long, and she wound up skating better. So it was.
There you go.
But yes, Ensu, I think Korean ice dance. Come on, her and Min Yura. Now, how about our girl Amber Glenn, Jonathan? What? She was better here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say.
She didn't pop 7 jumps in the long. I mean,
you know,
it could have gone really downhill after that single axel. Have you seen an Amber Glenn performance before? This is what happens. Jonathan, the music is very gravity, kind of depressing. You feel like you're eating coffee ice cream, watching the 4 continents, you know, watching Grey's Anatomy.
It all went wrong, yeah.
Having a fat day, being like, oh, you know. And then she makes one mistake, and then the whole program goes. She held it together more respectably here.
Yeah.
The music was still dreadful, but
And Karen Chen.
Karen Chen was amazing.
It was wonderful. Could you imagine if she had been able to deliver that long in Japan?
Could you imagine if she could have done the triple Lutz Euler triple Salchow in the short program instead of doing that triple Lutz triple toe that she always under rotates? If they allowed a sequence instead of.
They were generous callers in general, I thought, in the short, because even Brady seemed a little maybe under rotated, and there were a couple others that they were getting.
They might have been generous all around, but.
Compared to Shen Amano at European, it's definitely generous.
What are we going to do about these Canadian women? I mean, should we just send Gabby Daleman to the Worlds? Are we going to...
Send Megan Duhamel. That resurfaced her 4 continents clip of her doing that triple Lutz.
You know, yeah. Maybe. Should we... I mean, Alison Schumacher, I think, is in for the Worlds, but...
She really imploded here.
I know, but is it going to be Alicia and Allison, or are we going to send Gabby Daleman? Again, I'm wrong, but the part of me that loves drama thinks that...
Watch Gabby Daleman do it, yeah. Yeah.
Gabby Daleman, unless... I don't know if I have permission to share this story. I'll find out before we do the show tomorrow, and if I can share this Gabby Daleman story. Okay, there.
Wow, intriguing. Okay,
it's a good one. It's a good one.
Me off the air, everybody.
I will. I shared it on See Live yesterday. It's good. It is really good. Mm-hmm. That's why I got to sign up. All right. Anyway, it is. I mean, she's giving us the most. Okay. Yeah, I think that they should send Alicia and Allison. The Catholic part of me says send Allison and Alicia, but
poor Emma, yeah.
Because Gabby, she's not going to give us warm-up drama with Mariah Bell. Like, oh my God, I would make them on the same practice session. I'd make them on the same warm-up. Just do it, Jonathan. Listen, skating is being relegated to the internet. Come on, this will get people
with equestrian commentators. Yeah.
With an equestrian commentator. Listen, skating is in a dire state. You have a built-in scandal, people. Built-in scandal, make it happen. And Ensu can deliver the tears. Mariah Bell, we have not seen her cry yet. At least not in a while, but she's got a hot boyfriend.
You know, right? Occasion. Yeah, she does a thing. Yeah.
Think about it. We have, like, stuff to work with here. I mean, maybe they could skate to the same music. Think about it. I mean, we could... Oh, wait, they kind of already did, because Ensu skated to Mariah's...
They have to be the same dress.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't they both love Lisa McKinnon? So... Just saying. All right. So we want to know...
What's your moment?
My moment was kind of Jason Brown. I had a Tracy Wilson, like, feeling.
Yeah. You know what? He's definitely one of mine, but I'm going to say it was Junhwa Cha's arms on the spread eagle. I had a real moment watching that.
All right.
Why not? And Wakaba's triple axel attempt.
It was great. You know what? And yelling at you about KMT, it felt satisfying. Okay.
Good. I'm glad someone got something out of that.
Hold an edge and look sexy. Bye, guys.